They say the longest distance in the world is the 12-inch journey from the head to the heart. Sometimes you have to think beyond the visible and take a blind leap. This is a saga of true grit, perseverance, persistence, and entrepreneurship. A story built over decades and has become a case study of indelible ink in book printing. The Replica story, as it goes, is a validation to the statement that luck favors the prepared. It chronicles the evolution from a small and humble beginning that started off from Rajkamal Electric Press by the Seth family that migrated to India during independence in 1947. The story we are going to read in chorus is of Mr. Shori Lal Seth and his wife, Mrs. Kamlesh Seth, who had 6 children, 4 sons, namely Bhuvnesh, Ramesh, Lalit and Vinod, and 2 daughters, namely Indu and Simi. The odyssey began with the setting up of first print unit in Old Sabzi Mandi in 1948 by Shri Shori Lal Seth, a business that grew parallel to the opportunities bestowed upon them, whetting their appetite for bold and calculated risks. Today, late Shri Shori Lal Seth is fondly remembered by the protagonist, Bhuvnesh Seth, a graduate from Hindu College, who nostalgically says,
Bauji was an upfront and hard-working, dedicated man. Used to run his cradle machine and go to the market to purchase paper, print and deliver finished goods to his clients on his bicycle.
The treadle at Kundli factory is a glowing tribute to late Shri Shori Lal Seth's philosophy that no work is big or small. The chapter of letterpress with 2 treadles and 2 cylinder machines moved forward. Ramesh, Lalit and Vinod had already joined Rajkamal Electric Press and were printing books for domestic publishers and manufacturing card boxes for late Shri Radhakrishan Arora's Mugli Ghutti 555, one of the prestigious clients who were a big financial support for the business. And Bhuvnesh, with the entrepreneurial skills, became the front runner, which helped him at every stage of life.
I was always predisposed to joining business and was never a studious kind. Having seen closely the working hurdles and intricacies of the book printing business, I joined the family business in 1978.
First chapter of Book of Life starts with Mahinder Singh Sejwal, a college batchmate of Bhuvnesh, who helped him in getting the first typesetting and printing job, Nomenclature of Organic Compounds by R.K. Bansal. The product was well received and appreciated by Rajiv Berry, and the foundation of business with international publishers was laid.
Our careers almost started together in the late 70s. We had a book which was by R.K. Bansal, Nomenclature for Organic Compounds, and we gave it to Bhuvnesh. He did an excellent job. So our journey really started from there many years back. So that, in a way, I would say, also is marking the journey of Bhuvnesh as a print solutions provider, because at that time too, if there was a complex job, he was the person to go to. His focus on quality, his focus on timely schedules, his focus on taking up challenges is probably reflected all through till today. So it's been a big journey for Replica, and currently I feel they can definitely be rated among the top print solution provider in the country for local as well as for global needs.
The quality of work executed by Rajkamal Electric Press started getting noticed by Bhuvnesh's friends in publishing world. It immensely impressed M.S. Fogat and Ranjan Kaul, which helped Rajkamal achieve #1 position in Tata McGraw-Hill, which is retained till date.
Those days, modern technologies like digital were unknown, and he was working with his father for a company called Rajkamal Electric Press, doing typesetting. I mean, there were times, especially in when he had moved on to offset printing, that he would come back and call up and say, look, this is not looking nice. So he would take personal interest to see that the books which were produced were of incomparable quality. Those days, I don't think they were doing any jobs for overseas publishers, but he had this kind of commitment and passion to ensure that he wanted to be India's best publisher and printer. And I think it was this motivation which has seen him through all these years to becoming now one of the leading printers in India.
We subsequently added another new monograph in a very short period. Since I was in the habit of having adopting new developments, we entered into offset printing with a very small dominant 714. With the growth in state-of-art machines, our quality and commitment, we got very good business from international publishers with joint ventures such as Tata McGraw-Hill, Wiley Easton Limited, Oxford University Press, Foundation Books, a subsidiary of Cambridge University Press, and Viva Books. By that time, we were having operations at 2 different locations and consolidated it by moving to GT Karnal Industrial Area in 1986.
The trajectory to enter into the arena of exports for Bhuvnesh opened through his teacher from Hindu College, Professor M.M. Sharma, who joined Atlanta University, US. He gave sufficient book printing orders, which was further supported by Manas Saikia, MD Speaking Tree, who gave an added impetus to Bhuvnesh to initiate visiting international book fairs such as London Book Fair and Frankfurt Book Fair.
I remember advising him to participate in both the Frankfurt and London book fairs. And I believe he started doing that, and now of course he gets quite a lot of business internationally. I am very happy to learn that he has been awarded with a very special export prize for his achievements.
Lack of space and little scope of growth to accommodate the aspirations of all 4 brothers, late Sri Shorilal Seth decided to partition the business fairly among the 4 sons. Lalit and Vinod were given Rajkamal Electric Press. Bhuvnesh and Ramesh agreed to start a new venture, Replika Press Private Limited at Narela in Delhi in 1998. Ramesh later on opted out and started Sanat Printers. At this point, overseas publishers were getting their books printed in India and supplying the same to domestic customers. This facility was available in 100% EOU, a scheme promoted by Ministry of Commerce, Government of India. And Bhuvnesh availed this facility and started 100% export-oriented unit. Fortunately, at this juncture, Vinod Vashisht, Director Viva Books, introduced Bhuvnesh to Ian McWilliam, Production Director Hodder Arnold.
What I noticed in Bhuvnesh was there that we were new in the team. We didn't have production people also. He was guiding us, and when we make a mistake or something, and he always corrected and give it to us. He was very quality conscious. His quality was very good.
Ian McWilliam visited Replica Press and was very impressed with the quality and infrastructure. Replica was lucky to fetch first order from them to print 40 titles with split deliveries to India and UK.
Replica in 1999. The old factory was based by the University District. Replica had been recommended by my ex-colleagues at Butterworth Heinemann for typesetting. And when I went to visit them, I was really impressed by the printing of textbooks in the factory. And we discussed the possibility of exporting the books to the UK. The old factory was much smaller than, but it was very well organised. It was tidy and very busy. The factors that made us choose Replica are customer focus, the ability to understand customers' requirements and quality. It's really satisfying to see Replica over the years grow to be a global export player with such a large new facility and state-of-the-art equipment.
In due course, Replica got good business from John Strange, Group Production Director, Blackwell, Oxford, and printed 682 titles for Blackwell UK, which meant 3 titles a day. At the same time, there appeared Ehud Sperling, CEO, Inner Traditions, who opened the doors for Replica in US. The facility at Narela soon proved to be inadequate to meet Replica's needs for future development, and hence a new factory was set up at Kundali, Haryana in 2000. 21st century beckoned a new dawn of hope, promise and rise for Replica. Its first decade saw a steep upward trend in exports expansion in domestic market. Since then, there has been no looking back. In 2001, after graduating from London School of Printing, Bhuvnesh Seth's eldest son, Sanandan, joined the family business and expanded it far and wide to countries like Africa, France, Germany, Latin America, Norway and Sweden.
I started taking interest in Replica during my graduation days, though the main aim was to get technical and engineering knowledge of printing, but along with that I started encashing my management skills as well. International market was booming and giving directions to my vision. I started attending various book fairs, conferences, print summits and interacting with big V's of print fraternity during my college days. As I firmly believe, the only road less traveled is the one where we just don't pitch. We offer and what you see is what you get. Our work ethics percolates in our factory, which is customer service first and serving them on time is priority.
In 2003, after graduating from Delhi University, Bhuvnesh Seth's youngest son, Vikaran, joined the business. Young, bubbling with energy and to achieve the impossible, Vikaran brought a new enthusiasm to the shop floor by dint of his hard work and sharp eye. At the same time, he developed a good rapport with the existing clients and added new ones for both domestic and international market.
My dad always says consistency and commitment is the key for great heights. He has set us high standards in printing and we are all geared up to take it to commanding heights.
The same year, there occurred another significant happening when Jagdish Seth, late Shorilal Seth's younger brother, joined the business. He was the right person at the right time to encash Replica's goodwill into export market and resulted in getting very good international customers, mainly in Australia, Czech Republic, New Zealand, Russia and US. Thus, Replica's presence spread worldwide. Replica has reached this level with increasing business from international publishing giants. Penguin Random House, a leading trade, fiction and non-fiction publisher, whose group production director, Stephen Essen, and Neil Bradford, divisional production director, have been a great source of inspiration in upgrading and enhancing Replica's printing capacity.
I first met Replica about 10 years ago when we were looking for our printing partner to support our newly developed Random House business in India. From that very first visit, it was clear that Replica were the ideal partner. From the organisation of the factory, the commercial success of their business to date, and critically their future ambition for their own business. Well, negotiations ensued, and from that day onwards, Replica have been our preferred business partner. I think much more than just the quality of their service, their commitment, and indeed the quality of their printing, one of the things that's remained so important to us is the personal commitment and the personal support of Bhuvnesh, Sanandan, Vikran and Jagdish.
We have become partners, we have become cultural friends, and we have become an example of how two companies can work together for a mutual benefit and see the future become something that is truly exciting. The new factory shows the level of this commitment. we've grown, and since the merger of Penguin and Random House in 2013, we hope we have taken things on to the next level that enables us to truly say that we have acquired a relationship and a partnership here that is of world-class proportions. And the new factory shows that in concrete terms. The test of a relationship in business is when it becomes most under stress. Slumdog Millionaire represented that first test between Random House and Replica. A book that had been moderately successful was made into a film which became a worldwide phenomenon, and particularly so in India. The response was required to meet unprecedented demand, and for the first time Replica understood what it was to be involved in general trade publishing. They rose to the challenge impressively, met all of the demands, and had an invaluable experience, which was to stand them in incredibly good stead for the challenges that followed. Since then, they have produced authors for us of worldwide renown, whether they happen to be Dan Brown, Harper Lee, or indeed E.L. James with the extraordinary 50 Shades of Grey trilogy. In each case, they have performed magnificently well, and I am proud to have our books produced by Replica Press.
Replica's other esteemed clients with voluminous long-term business association are Taylor & Francis, one of the biggest medical and technical book publishers; Suseta Ediciones, Spanish children book publisher, for whom Replica prints multilingual, multicolor hardbound books; and Simon Schuster, one of the leading international fiction and non-fiction publishers. Replica has good business relations in domestic market too. Among these are JP Brothers, Bloomsbury India, HarperCollins India, Ratna Sagar, and Oxford University Press India. JP Brothers are world's number 2 medical publishers in terms of number of titles. Replica is proud of printing all prestigious books for JP Brothers.
When I interact with Mr. Seth and we started our publishing program, the face of our books has been changed drastically. And in the span of last 10 years, I think they convert everything into A+ quality. Now our almost 90% of our all colored medical books with lot of illustration is taken care by Replica, which is headed by the wonderful team. And these books are now very well appreciated not only in India but outside India. This has been appreciated first by the quality of the book and then about the contents. So in other words, the quality is more important than the contents, because unless until the doctors, the clinicians, they will buy the book only first they see the quality. If the quality is not good, they are not going to touch the book. So for us, the quality is very, very important. And I congratulate to Mr. Seth and his son and his company, who has taken the level of printing in India on a very, very high standard. And on the top of that, the delivery commitment, it is unbelievable, you know. You believe it or not, a book of about 4,000 pages with 4 volumes, with full color, hardback, they are capable to deliver in 10 to 15 days time. If we tell this to anyone in the international company, they will just simply laugh because they think that it is just a joke.
In the past, I have visited the facility of Replica Press, and I found that the facilities are at par with the foreign printers, and the kind of machinery they have is absolutely cutting edge, and the new machinery and even the binding facility is fantastic.
Business by now was increasing at a steady pace and hence required more space. Replica was fortunate in acquiring land at 3 different locations in the same industrial hub in close vicinity. Today, Replica has 10 acres of land with more than 600,000 square feet covered area. To print the best and to remain on top, Replica follows the codes of conduct of business ethically by regular updation of machines as per newer technologies. ISO standards for color management are followed. The protocol for pre-press workflow is adhered to, which involves Kodak pre-energy, leaving no scope for piracy. Replica has latest Heidelberg KBA printing machinery of various sizes, starting from single color, 4 colors, up to 8 color presses, ideally producing 3 million impressions in a day. They are fully equipped with the facility of CIP4 and are connected to spectrophotometer in order to check the density and LAB values of the job being printed on press. Replica's binding has become a brand, which is worn out by the fact that the company has been awarded as the Post-Press Company of the Year by Print Week India consecutively for 5 years, which is a unique feat. It has fleet of style folding, Magnotechnica gathering with online Aster sewing machines and fully online solutions for all types of book binding, such as Kolbus and Wallenberg for soft cover, Ziglock for book block, Kolbus casing in with jacketing, and Müller-Martini fully loaded center stapled.
Today we have developed a whole range of high-quality German-made machines for manufacturing of high-quality industrial production of softcover and hardcover. Bhuvanesh, I have to thank you for being a part of this, and I'm very happy to say that over the time a good business relation has grown into a real good personal friendship.
In Automatic, they have automatic carton packing, stapling and palletization. Their ideal capacity is to bind 100,000 books for softcover and 50,000 books for hardcover per day. It is years of hard work and dedication, which is well summed up by Jagdish Seth, who has weathered all storms in life, as is visible not only in the deep embedded facial lines, but also in words, when he says,
"It's a proven tool that success is laid on the foundation of excellent quality, on timely delivery, enviable infrastructure, and of course, customer first." Replica roots for these 4 pillars to date. Personally, I take pride. I am in a great company, not in the physical term, but company that produces good books that have changed my life and quenched my thirst for knowledge and added life to my ears.
The books printed by Replica have been appreciated for excellency in printing, not only by clients, but by the leaders in the industry as well. Besides annually awarded by Print Week, All India Federation of Master Printers every year facilitates Replica. In 2015, out of 9 prestigious awards, Replica has won 3, namely Best Printing on Indigenous Paper, Best Softbound Book Award, Best Exporter Award, and 3 silver awards for Best Softcover, Best Hardcover, and Digital Printing. Kipexo, an Export Promotion Council, Ministry of Commerce, honoured Replica for special export awards for the year 2012-2013 in book printing. Replicants have rephrased the adage, customers first, to employees also first. Each employee is provided wages comparable to the best scales in the industry, plus medical facility to their families and free education to their children.
It is a great pleasure to work with Replica for the past few years. Our commitment is to deliver the product with the quality. I am very glad to work and grow with Replica.
As an employee, I have a great sense of achievement, and Replica provides me every opportunity to learn new things going in the market, which I can share with my customers and thus helping them out in the current market scenario. Replica is a brand now, as we receive inquiries on its own when people see the beautiful printed and well-bound books in their hand with their Replica press in the print line.
मैं रेप्लिका प्रेस में 32 साल से काम करता हूं और मेरे को यहां बहुत अच्छा लगता है। जब मैं सुबह होती है तो मैं कब जल्दी से जल्दी प्रेस में आने की सोचता हूं कि कब मैं प्रेस पे पहुंचूं, रेप्लिका में पहुंचूं और अपने काम पे लग जाऊं। और मेरे को कभी भी कोई ज़रूरत हुई या कोई हेल्प की ज़रूरत हुई तो मेरी कंपनी ने साथ दिया है और मेरे को यहाँ बहुत अच्छा लगता है। परिवार की तरह रहते हैं, परिवार की तरह काम करते हैं और मैं खुश हूँ।
Good deeds might be invisible, but they leave a trail that is imprinted in the hearts of the community. By investing in computers, sewing machines, providing education to unprivileged, poor children run by an NGO for poor people by Mr. Raman Khanna.
Providing a public service, especially education to the underprivileged, always means lack of resources. And it is here that Bhuvnesh Seth, owner of Replika Press, came in with his generous heart and contributed to providing education to these less privileged children. He has, through his generosity, provided a vocational training center, midday meals, and uniforms. And we are hoping that this association between us will go forward, and we look forward to his continued support.
All books have a beginning, middle, and an end. But this does not conclude here, as Bhuvnesh Seth believes that Replica has miles to go in the printing world, and he is confident his sons, Sanandan and Vikran, along with his able team, would be the torchbearers in taking the business to newer heights. They intend to diversify the present business of printing books and expand into other fields such as packaging. Replica is here for posterity, as books are eternal. A man's best friend, even in this digital age. The epilogue reiterates the fact that in the book of life, every page has two sides. We fill the front page with our plans, hopes and wishes, but Providence writes on the other page. Bhuvnesh Seth walked the distance between his head and heart with passion, believing that it is not the destination alone, but the journey which matters.